could be with anyone, you're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for
You could be with anyone, and I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey, what's going on, people? How's everybody doing? Hopefully, everybody's having a fantastic evening. We are getting started on the Speak Pipe edition of My Takeover Reality. Turning my phone off so that we don't have any interruptions. Hopefully, everybody can see me and hear me. If you can see me, you can hear me. Go ahead, hit me with that one in the chat. Let a player know that everybody can be see me and hear me. All right, I see some ones. I see some ones. Thank you, Danny. Welcome to the show, Danny Towns. Mama Squirrel, Jennifer Hero, Sarah Coverdale. What's going on? All right, awesome. Yeah, we are 100% connected. Awesome. All right, we got some cool speak pipes, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what I was planning to do with regard to the channel. Not that I'm making any crazy changes. Put that to bed already. Put that to rest from the start. Not making any crazy changes. But yeah, let me just put this up. Tadal, Tadal. Yeah, it's awesome. Fantastico. All right, got some ones. Kathy Ferran in the house. All right. Uh yeah, we are going to have a good time tonight. We have a few of the speak pipes, and in addition to the speak pipe stuff, I'm also going to be putting in think a little bit of commentary because I like to talk. So let me turn that a little down. Some that volume was insane. Who's he trying to talk to? Somebody on the moon? That ain't right. Uh, my hands are looking crazy. All right. So okay, I eat the edible. Uh, hey, Godiva Ferguson. Hello from Canada. Hello to my our neighbors up north. And to those across the pond. Yeah, sorry I missed last week. I didn't have a whole lot to talk about, so I didn't want to jump on. There was something that came up with one of the callers right off the rip. Hey, what's going on, Brett? Um, Came up with one of the callers. We can jump right into that. Maybe you guys can tell me something I did not know because this caller definitely did. Take a listen to what they have to say.
Hello, James. This is Negla 3. I love you. Uh, I
Well,
really do have a question about Robin's alleged hot mic. Is that something that you covered? Because I went back and I tried to find that, and I don't know if it's something that you have or haven't. If you have, good. If you haven't, I, I'm just interested to hear what you have to say about that. Thank you. Bye.
Oh, okay. So what Negla is talking about is apparently there was a hot mic incident. I did not cover it because I did not hear about it. Um, I tried to look it up to see what was around, and there seems to be one story that was pretty rough. In fairness, I don't know how true it is. That was kind of the thing because I didn't hear the actual report from TLC. Like I didn't hear the like usually if they have a hot mic situation, they'll have the audio and they'll play the audio and you can hear the audio. In this particular instance, what I was able to find was kind of a description about how like they were filming and Robin had, they turned off the cameras and supposedly the microphones, but somebody had like another microphone, which isn't. It sounds a lot more nefarious than it actually is. Uh, if you are on a set there may or may not be several microphones present. Like you could personally have a mic on, like a what they call a lav mic or a lavalier mic. You could also have like a boom where they have the guy standing there with the stick and a microphone on the stick. And you could have, I mean, theoretically, you could have additional recording devices around, and then all of them would transmit back to the uh the sound guy. You know, you just let them do what they're gonna do. When you get on set, you just let them do what they're gonna do. But in this particular thing, Sarah covered there, like, what did she say? In this particular instance, they said that they shut down everything. There was like a recording device that was on one of the bookcases that was still running. And according to the report that I read, Robin was, they shut down, and normally she has that sweet, I love the family. I keep everyone together. It's so lovely. I love everyone because I just want the family to work. In this particular instance, they said, and again, I don't know how true this is. They said that she supposedly cut off the thing, and then she starts yelling at one of the producers about Janelle and Mary, saying that Mary is walking around like she's the ghost of like she's the ghost who's haunting the family, and saying that something to that effect. Then saying, "Oh, my mic's not as bad." Oh, okay. Hopefully, test test. Hopefully that sounds better. Um, did that improve, Jody? Just give me a one, Jody, in the chat. Hopefully that improved it. But they said, okay, awesome. But they said that she said about Janelle that she's basically walking around like some kind of frontiers woman, martyrdom, who's sitting around like, she's buying a land, and she's going after Cody, saying that Cody wasn't really taking care of her, so they went after her that way, and it was pretty rough. Like it was pretty rough. Then they said that she went on to cackling hen about like the other family members, saying she's the only one that kept this effing family together, and they ought to be dropping down on their knees thanking her for holding this shit show together and all this kind of stuff. So that's what I had heard. The hot mic situation was, in all fairness, I don't know whether it's true. I can't say that this is what happened, but at the same time, I can't say that if it did happen, I'm surprised. Like, I don't think anybody is surprised that Robin was flipping out, talking about, like, she's mad that these other women to get a little bit of shine. That Mary is still kind of hanging like a hanger on her for the family, you know, because ultimately Mary, for a lot of years, even though Mary was the first one in the family, if we're gonna call it what it is, she wasn't really a full member of the family. I'm sure they had her contributing, you know, 100%. You gonna have to get your tax accountant up in the crib so we can talk to a professional to go over your books. Like, I'm sure that was a conversation because she said that was a conversation. I 100% believe her. The problem is that with Mary doing it that way, and the fact that she was in a position that she was in a family, you are kind of walking around like the ghost because you aren't really a member of the family, you know? Like, you aren't a full member of the family. You're just kind of there because you've always been there and you were there first. So, from that respect, I can see Robin being bitter, especially now that Mary is getting a little bit of shine because of her breakup with Cody. And, people aren't looking at her like the family was supposed to be looking at her like she's this dowdy, sorry ass hanger on her who they're just letting hang out because they pity her. And she's actually rising above that now. So I can see where if you're a selfish ass person, you might look at that and be upset. If she was like, and this is where it gets kind of weird because if she was truly Robin was truly Mary's friend, you want your friend to win. So if she leaves the family, I rather Like this is the weird part about it. If Robin was, and I kind of I'm starting to grow to dislike this term, but if Robin was a girl's girl, a woman's woman, right, and she was on her sister wife's side, then you would take the same position that Janelle was taking when Christine left. Like you're sad that your friend is leaving, your sister wife is leaving, your family's breaking up, but at the same time you realize that it's better for her that she go, and you wish her well on her way out the door. You're upset that the family's not going to be the same and you're going to miss this person because they were a huge contributor to the family, but at the same time you're not sitting around saying, oh, well, to hell with it. I hope you leave the family and you end up homeless and disease ridden and nobody else wants you. Like you want the best for the person. That to me is a decent person. What if Robin is in fact doing it this way, then she's not the person that she's pretending to be. And I think that that's the big problem, especially with this hot mic situation. If it's true, because again, I'll keep saying if it's true because I want to hear it. I want to hear it for myself. But if it's true, like I said, it doesn't. I wouldn't even say it really hurts Robin. Crazy enough, surprise. I wish I had my thing loaded up. Surprise, surprise. I don't think it hurts Robin because at the end of the day, it would only hurt Robin if nobody saw this coming. Like if nobody believed that she was this type of person, and then all of a sudden she came out and she presented herself as something that we didn't expect, then that would hurt her. But it doesn't hurt her if she comes out and basically says something which is pretty much on brand for how we think about her anyway. So it confirms stuff, but it's just like, yeah, Robin did some low down dirty shit. Yeah, yeah, she probably did. Robin went after the money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that's pretty much what it is. Um, let's see what else we have a few phone calls, so let's jump into it. Plus, I have at the end of this, I have a presentation, a slight presentation of some things that I thought might bring some clarity. Again, I'm not going to go back and do a rewatch of this series, um, because frankly, I'm a little frustrated with TLC right now because I think that TLC is really taking advantage of a lot of the viewership, and honestly, I think the TLC also is taking advantage of a lot of YouTubers and people, a lot of my peers on the social media track because for the most part, we're propping these mothers up, and they don't give us any love. They don't give us no love, right? And we're propping these jackasses up because well, let's be honest. Like the Brown family hasn't really done anything groundbreaking or original in a few seasons. Like the most original thing they did was leave. So, uh, with that being said, let's take a listen to some stuff. So what I was saying was I'm not going to do a rewatch, but I will pull interesting clips that I think speak to some things that I want to highlight about this particular show. All right. So we'll do that right after we get through with the speak pipes. But next up, let's do anonymous. See what anonymous has to say.
Hi, James. This is Anonymous. I was hoping you might be able to have some insight into Paul Sullivan's
Hmm.
involvement in the Coyote Pass property. We all know that he was a surveyor, and I have a feeling that maybe he helped Cody decide which pieces of property were most beneficial and more profitable for him and Robin to have in his name. If you could you give us your take on reality regarding that? Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Anonymous, thank you so much, Anonymous. Um, yeah, I think that when it comes to Paul Sullivan, Paul, for those who may not know or may not recall, new to the game, welcome, welcome, if you are new. Paul Sullivan. is Robin's stepfather. Like he's the man that raised Robin. Okay, that's the man who brought them into polygamy, I guess technically, because Robin's father was married to her mom, and after they separated, her mom took up with Paul Sullivan, who already had a wife, and ergo they became polygamous. Now the funny thing is that they didn't do like the Brown family style of polygamy where they all pretended to try to live under one roof. They lived in completely separate places. And so much so that Paul would spend Monday through Friday with his family and then spend the weekend with Robin's family, if that makes sense. So he's kind of like a part time daddy mistress situation. And uh, when they moved, we saw Paul Sullivan on the show a few times in the background, but there was a couple times that I think are really important as far as Anonymous's position. The first is when they moved to Las Vegas because he worked in and around Las Vegas, and that's, in my opinion, why they originally moved to Las Vegas. Had nothing to do with the police coming to get, come to get them because as I've expressed, a dozen times or so more before, if you are wanted by the police and they have a warrant and you go somewhere fun like Las Vegas, anywhere in Florida, well, not anywhere in Florida. Like if you're in northern Florida down there, the Panhandle, you safe, okay? You good to go. Jacksonville. But if you are in like Orlando, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, oh yeah, they coming to get your ass. If you in California, Los Angeles, somewhere nice, oh, they coming to get you. You in Hollywood, yeah, they coming to get your ass. If you in New York, Chicago, Texas, Austin, Dallas, they coming to get you. Okay, cool places, Boston, like if Las Vegas, only a few hours away. Yeah, they are definitely coming to get you. I get paid to be there, and I get per diem. I get paid to eat. They gonna feed me. I can go to a steakhouse and charge that back to the department, and they're gonna pick up the tab. So I'm gonna eat at the Palm, and they're gonna pay for it. Yeah, buddy. So no, no. That was the first time we actually first met Paul. The second time that I think is relevant is he actually was on Cody Pass with him, and Cody had mentioned that his father-in-law had talked to him about Cody Pass. In fact, that bench that Robin was supposed to be sitting on was a bench that he made for Paul had made for Cody Pass. Now, I say all that to say this. Remember how Janelle has said Cody always tries to put himself in a position where he comes ahead in these business deals. There was a time when Cody was supposed to be splitting up the land and cutting the land up. And some people would look at that and say, I don't understand why they just don't go, take the whole bit of land, divide it evenly, and then just go lot one, lot two, lot three, lot four, and be done with it, right? Instead, Cody comes up with all these crazy configurations. And the question is, oh, yeah, I'm going to give these big plots of land to Robin and Janelle, and then I'm gonna split up the land and I'm gonna give a little plot to Mary and Christine, and I'm gonna keep one for myself, right? And we always wonder, like, where did he get that configuration? Where did he come up with these ideas? Where did he get the evaluation that the lots with the trees on it are more valuable? I can see them saying the shaded lots might be more valuable, but for the fact that you're not only building up a hill, which may require some leveling of the ground, unless you're going to build the house on a complete slope. But even still, in order for you to put the foundation down, if you look, most of that is slate rock. Like that hill is like all rock. So there's no way, like you're not digging down on that. And that will require like a tremendous amount. So for them to consider those three lots that he had, I might have a picture. Those three lots that he was talking about putting on Cowdy Pass? I don't think I do. I still have it broke up into four. But those three lots he was talking about putting on Cowley Pass, that he was gonna get the pond and the other two lots. Those houses I think would have been way more expensive to build, and I think that was by design. Like maybe it would be more valuable because the houses would cost a lot more money to construct. So theoretically, I guess the houses could be worth more if you could actually build on them. So, and I also thought it was funny, like, oh, we're going to give Robin like a huge, like almost 4 acres, 5 acres worth of land. We give Janelle like 4 acres worth of land, and the other 2 acres will be like two, 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 right? Crazy. So I could see that being a conversation they had, and this also plays later into some of the things that I pulled up from some of the clips that I had talked about earlier. Just in respect of Paul's not only teaching Cody how to look out for himself as the patriarch, but he's also putting Robin in position where she's going to have the most expensive, valuable portions of Cowdy Pass, and I think that that was part of the plan, and I think that's how it played out for them. That's my suspicion. Of course, I can't prove anything either way. This is not gospel, and this is not you know this is not you know canon, if you will. But wait, hold on a second. Yeah, so I think that's how we're gonna roll with it. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, I think Paul definitely had something to say about it. Next up, let's do Megatron. Megatron had an interesting question.
Hi everyone. It is Megatron 719. Hi James. I'm gonna keep it real quick tonight. Not gonna go on a rant. Just wanted to know real quick. I'm just kind of confused about which wives are still sealed to Cody. I know Mary got her release, so it's not Mary. I know Robin is. She's still with him. I'm sure Janelle is. Christine is the question mark for me. Is
Ooh,
she still technically sealed to Cody? And if she is, doesn't that mean he has the three sealed wives to get him into the ultimate kingdom or whatever it is that they are
oh,
for tonight, guys?
all right. Just got out a little bit, but we got it. We got it. Technically, the way it works, Cody was sealed with all of his wives, all four of his wives. The only wife that he has release for is Mary. So technically, he does have three wives. And in that belief system, to my understanding, when he dies, if they all die, they're all going to go to the same heaven. So as crazy as it is, if you still ascribe to that belief, when they get to heaven, they're gonna give Cody the secret password or whatever, the secret name, and Christine gonna spend the rest of eternity with Cody and Robin and Mary. Well, I guess not Mary, but yeah, I mean it's I it's funny because we talk about like Cody saying like with the baptism, I'm gonna cover my bases. This might be a time when Christine want to cover her base, like just to make sure. Yeah, I mean, you just want to make sure. I want to make sure I'm not with your ass in the afterlife. Because if you thought he was hell on wheels now, you wait till he actually becomes a deity. Ah, you think he was hard to live with here? You wait. Buckle up, Buttercup. As far as like him, like I said, my understanding is you get three wives. That takes you to the next perch or the next level of eternity. So yeah, yeah. If that is true, he would be entitled to that next level. So good point though, Megatron. Yeah, that's why you take care of your business. So you don't find yourself where you don't want to be for eternity. Eternity, eternity, eternity. That's crazy. Not me, Jay. I'd have been like, this is over. Like Mary told Christine and I'm like, if you go down there, they'll give it to you. They'll give it to you. I'm sure she wasn't talking trash then. Like you know, in fact, they might have told her, tell everybody, come on down. You know. Uh, Next up, we got let's do Candace.
Hey James, this is Candace. I recently
Also love.
watched the best video ever with Jenny from Senior Perspective about one of her members went to Flagstaff and was in Salsa Brava, and she and her husband talked to the waiter there, or the wait staff, and they claim, they report that Cody is in that restaurant a lot, and he just sits there for hours and does nothing basically. And I was dying. I love it. I love Jenny's video. Anyway, I wonder if you saw that and what you think of that. You know, Cody pretends that he's, oh, I make $200 an hour, and that's why I need babysitters. I'm just so important. And it cracks me up that this loser's doing nothing. He doesn't do anything with his time. So I've known that. I think we've all known that, but I love this story. And I believe it's true, 100%, that Cody just sits around and does nothing. And I believe he's trying to hide from his family. He doesn't want to be around Robin and the kids all the time. So, anyway, you have a good day. Just wanted your take on that. Thanks.
All right. So that was Candace, and she had basically said, for those who may have had difficulty hearing, it sounded a little low. I tried to adjust it up, but I couldn't get it to raise. But she had said that Jenny from Senior Perspective, salute Jenny, friend of the channel. Um, Jenny did a video, and one of her viewers had said they had an opportunity to go out to Flagstaff. And while they were out in Flagstaff, of course, you got to see the views, you got to see the scenes, got to do the tourism thing. So, as a Sister Wife fan, probably drove by Robin and Cody's old house, the McMansion. You probably drove by Christine's house, maybe even Mary's house. Saw Cowdy Pass, or at least Gate, or whatever, because it's a little gated community. But they went to Salsa Brava, and while they were in Salsa Brava, they talked to one of the waiters and one of the servers or whatever. And what the server basically said that Cody goes to Salsa Brava, sits in a booth for hours at a time, just doing nothing, probably drinking. You know, that's my guess. Uh, just to make it worthwhile. And he does nothing. And now this flies in the face of him saying that he can't babysit his kids because he's out here making moves and all this money. I can make $200-300 an hour. And why would I jeopardize that when I could pay a babysitter to watch the kids? Why would I give up my $200-300 an hour check to watch some kids? That's a waste. And then to find out that he's actually going to Salsa Bravo. See, I think that it could be a couple things. One, I mean, he probably doesn't like you got to have business in order to do work. You got to be. Let's be honest about it. Got to have business to do work. But two, and this is a very real thing, he has younger kids. And as much as he might sit there and talk about how he loves his wife and he want to be around her, that might just be his release, getting away from everybody. Like that's his escape. I'm gonna go to Salsa Brava for a few hours and just sit on the bar stool, stare at the bottom of my glass, and dream of days when I had a big family and I was getting all four checks or getting all five checks, his check included. The fat TLC checks, and I had operation of $1 million fund. Now I'm sitting here having to deal with 60% of my general revenue gone. I'm solely responsible. Well, not solely responsible. Me and Robin are solely responsible for taking care of these kids and their future. Like, only thing I have currently is bills. Like, that's the weird thing about it because no matter how much money he seems to be making, because him, Robin, and Cody Cody Robin, the OG3, they are not suffering for money. Let's be very clear. They're making a lot of money doing this show. They're making a lot of money doing this show. So they're not suffering for money. The problem that you may have is the same problem you would have with a person who wins the lottery. Is that it's very possible, is much even though they're making a ton of money to start, it's very possible that $1 come in, $2 go out. So he has all this money coming in, but he went and bought a $2.1 million house. He had to have a hot new convertible Mercedes Benz. He has to have this toy and that toy. Got to have art or anything that crosses his mind or tickles his fancy. Jewelry, clothes, things like that. Like there isn't a sale that you don't like, or he's into the pew pews. So like you could spend a lot of money in that hobby, that particular hobby, just that alone. For certain pieces, you could spend. It's not unheard of to spend two, three, four, $5,000 uh, for some weapons, and that's not even including like the attachments and the things that go into it to work the weapon up. Like so, you can buy one for like 5 grand, like an AR 5 grand, and you can spend another 5 or 6 grand putting stocks, barrels, grips, all kinds of stuff. You go crazy, and it'll be crazy money that's just flowing out of the house. And because you want it, you went out and got it. But then at the same time, you don't have anything to answer that back. So you're just spending money. And there's a possibility that's what him and Robin are doing. The ironic part is, if you're a selfish person, which I think all of us kind of suspect that Cody is, it's very possible that he also is spending a shit ton of money, but the only thing he sees is Robin's dolls or Robin's artwork. They don't see his power sports stuff like the ATVs and the motorcycles and the cars and the skiing trips and the memberships and stuff. They don't see all that. The bar tabs, going out to get stuff to eat. They don't see that. Gym memberships, gear, perspectively, chicken and broccoli. They don't see all that. They'll just see like what Robin is spending. You're ruining the family. Meanwhile, he's signing for packages of his own. So, I mean, I think that that's one of the dangers for him. But yeah, that's a very good point. Like Salsa Brava. And damn Salsa Brava. I know they love being on this show because people probably stop in there and start asking sister wives questions. They should have like a little sister wife section. Miss One said gambling debt. Okay. I didn't know it was he was rolling the bones. It's not all beer and Skittles. Just saying. Next up we got let's do Daisy. Daisy's always lively. Uh,
Hey James, I just wanted to point out some things about Janelle and Mary, both of them. I think both of them front a lot. Let's start with Janelle. Yo, she swears that she's such a boss bitch, and like she loves to like anything that compliments her in terms of her accounting skills or crunching numbers, and she just really felt like her way in with Cody was like that she was his homeboy or something. But it's just like, dude, if you were so astute and you were such a boss bitch, you wouldn't let these people play in your face with your money, with everybody's money. She really had like no answers about anything. Like, yo, you just let this dude romance you at asking like basic accounting questions. So it's just like when she says that or whatever, I'm just like, no, please. And I'm just like, no, you're so independent and all that, but you and Mary can't open your mouth to say something about really misogynistic and patriarchal system. Only Christine has the backbone to do that. Yo, and then with Mary or whatever, uh, yeah, I guess.
all right. So we'll do it in sections because she had a couple. But with Janelle, the funny thing is This is actually one of the things I said early on. Uh, you know, one of the things that the whole cast has to be mindful of is that as they move into later episodes, they've reached that plateau where they've hit a lot of the forgiveness and a lot of the hero worship for their departure. Like speaking of the OG3 from the Brown family, they can get stuck because in the absence of Robin and Cody, people are going to start looking closer at the OG3. And Daisy's not making a bad point because it's actually a very good point because when push comes down to shove, Janelle did do the books. And whether we like it or not, she was aware of a lot of the spending that Cody and Robin were engaged in the way that they were taking money. And she even said it like, oh, they were taking a lot of money and a lot of money was going out and more money was going out than coming in. And, they were doing a lot of shaky spending or whatever. She knew about it. And, Christine said, oh, Janelle, she's very tight lipped about it, about what was going on in the books and stuff. But the thing is that if you're the family accountant, you are not Robin and Cody's accountant. You're not their bookkeeper. You're the family's bookkeeper. So anybody who deposits a check, in my mind, anybody who deposits a check has the absolute right to know what is going on with that account. If I'm putting my paycheck into an account, I want to know everything that's going on with that account. If somebody's taking out money they shouldn't be taking out, or the balance is low, I want to know. There's no, oh, we keeping it a secret. It was privileged information. No, I'm on the account. There is no privileged information. So I think that that is a fair criticism with Janelle. Like I understand that she tried to maintain a certain level of professionalism, but here's the thing: it's not professional. This is family. It's not professional. This is family. So if this is family, you are choosing sides in this situation, meaning that as long as you're cool with Cody, so as long as Cody was coming around visiting you and your boys, and everything would have stayed copacetic as far as that was concerned, you wouldn't be talking about the money and where the money went. But now that he kind of ditched you, dropped you off, and dropped your kids off, now all of a sudden, like we got to talk about the money and the money being spent improperly. The money has been spent improperly for years. Like he didn't just start blowing money and running through money and spending money he shouldn't be spending. But it's just that it's curious, and I'll say it that way. It's curious that now there's a lot of problems with him doing it. There wasn't problems before. Before it was okay, but now it's like, what's going on? With Cody and Robin spending all our family money, they just blowing and spending on dumb shit. Like they've been doing that forever. Okay, and the fans. I mean, I hate to say this, but the fans knew. It's not like we surprised. Surprise, surprise. Like we're not sitting there. I can't believe it. I didn't know that Cody and Robin was blowing through all the money. Like we all knew. We all knew. We've been saying that since season one. Like you better, especially Rob. You better watch her. She got that look about her. You know what I mean? That's exactly why you don't feed cats. You can't get rid of them. You know what I mean? So we all knew. Like all of a sudden, Robin getting everything she needs. Christine talking about going to go back to Utah to visit with her sick father because she thought he might pass. And Cody told her to use her grocery money to do that. Oh, well, I'm not paying for vacation. You go use your grocery money, right? But meanwhile, Cody moved the entire family to Las Vegas so that Robin can be closer to her father. But you want to like this is what I'm talking about. Like Janelle, if you are, this is one of the things where you have to be very careful. When you say, uh, "Hey, I'm smart, I'm logical, I think about things logically," the question would always be logically, what was the purpose of you not telling the people who are contributing to this account that there's mismanagement, bad accounting, and people absconding funds from said account? What is the logical reason why you wouldn't inform people who are contributing to said account? Like, and if the logical reason as to why you wouldn't is because you are either part of it, willing or unwilling, uh, knowing or unknowing, co-conspirator. You know, and that kind of begs the question. It depends on how smart you are, whether on which side of the street you land on that in that accusation. Yeah, and I'm not, and this is me not turning on Janelle and not being like being team Janelle. I still like Janelle. It's just that you know we gotta. I gotta call it what it is. I gotta be honest with it. So, hey, Wendy's front yard. What's going on? Sorry, we just got started. Uh, yeah, but like I said, I don't disagree. Daisy be pointed out. Like she's not wrong. Like, you're right. Like some of us might be kind of hot with the question, but she ain't wrong. She ain't lying. Next up, let me see. Oh, got this one too.
And about Mary, yeah, she wants to act all healed and all that. Nobody's buying that bullshit. Like that's the, media personality that she's trying to put out there. That's her rebrand, or that's however she's trying to go up against Christine with her authentic, self-worth journey. Um, but I think that, both Mary and Janelle, it's annoying how they don't speak out against a patriarchal, misogynistic system, and they say, well, I would go back. I would sign up for this again. Like, and y'all's the independent ones. I'm not drinking the food.
Okay. And she Daisy brought up Mary, just basically saying that Mary's trying to come off like strong and powerful, and I'm on with it. I'm with the smoke, son. I'm with the smoke. But as she points out, like it's hard to walk on both sides of the street. Because I saw someone say like this is the religious upbringing, religious influence, social influence, and I get that. But when you're making the assertion, oh shit, all right, I got to go back because apparently I didn't turn my mic on. Hello, so they're talking to myself once again. Um, Daisy isn't wrong because she's talking about Robin or Mary, playing the OG, triple OG, tough person with her social persona. Oh, I'm smart and I'm tough and I'm independent. And both her and Janelle have said that. Like, I'm an independent woman. I do, take care of myself. Ain't nobody coming to save me, blah, 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 blah. And I agree with all that. It's part of the shtick, if you will. But, but, Negla 3. Hey, what's going on? I already did your question, Negla. Um, but the thing is that in light of all that, it does beg the question because this is where I struggle with all of them. With all of them, like especially the OG3. It's not enough to say that my relationship with Cody didn't work. But my question is, what is your position on polygamy? Like they're all taking a position that this just doesn't work for me, and this is something I would be unwilling to try again. And I think that that's fine. But in your experience, are you now saying that given opportunity, not given opportunity, you would do it again, but there's nothing wrong with polygamy? Or it's just something that's wrong with Cody and Cody messed it up? Is that the position? Like they're very unclear about where they are with regard to their position or stance on polygamy in general, polygyny in general. So I think that that is something that has to be addressed. Um, Especially in light of the fact that when you put it in perspective, and if we do take the position that they did this because of their religion, their faith, and the system that they grew up in, then we have to acknowledge that that's negative, that that's a net negative, because they basically screwed themselves over because of their religion and their belief system, which allowed them to think that once they finished with this and then they were with Cody, and if things didn't work out, they would be okay. And now they're like 50 plus years old. And as Janelle said, she's starting over, right? And in no short order, and I've said this before, but in no short order, should she not be thankful that she's on a TV show? Because had she not been on a TV show, had she not been doing it that way, this story would be completely different. This would be a completely different story. This wouldn't be a celebration. This would be a horror show. She'd be 50 years old, starting over, trying to figure shit out, figure out a place to live, take care of her children, forget sending them to college and paying for them to go to college. Like if they don't have scholarships, then they go on straight to community. They're going somewhere where they can afford. They probably have a full time job, working full time, and going to school, going to night school. That's if they go to college. So, I mean, I think that that's something that has to be talked about as well, because we can't just sit there and pretend like polygamy works. And if you get married and you get divorced and you're going to get a full ass house, that's not realistic. Like, hell, don't work that way with monogamy. I have one wife, get divorced. You don't buy her a house, you know. In some cases, you got to buy a house to leave a house. You don't have a house to give her. So there's that. But let's close it out with Daisy. This is her last message.
And about Cody or whatever, it just bothers me or whatever how like he kind of even said as much exactly with Sufi. He kind of made it seem like his marriages were marriages of convenience. Um, and I think he was the type of dude to just live off of women.
Mm.
And it's crazy how now he's trying to like reinvent himself, where he's trying to rewrite his past to Robin. Because Robin, he got to keep up that image that he's the man. But when he talk about his past or whatever, he talk about like he was some crazy advertising magnate that was just slaying shit left and right. And it's just like no, 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 like you got to give these women their due when you look back. But I think like it's just like another layer of like the saltiness he has towards them. He they just remind him of like how he wasn't a man with him.
All right, I think that's fair play. That's rapping Daisy. But Daisy has some good points. Like even when she go after Cody because she had to include Cody, pull Cody into this foolishness. 100%. Like I think that like at the end of the day, uh, it's I get. I mean, and I understand this. Like I'm not even gonna pretend like I don't understand why they would do this. Like if you're on television, you want your best possible image or expression pushed out to the masses. So you want to be the cool guy. And I've held a position for a very long time that this show in and of itself is Cody's interpretation or trying to claim the mantle of being uh, a famous character that we're more familiar with. Big Love's Pullman, uh, I think he's trying to pretty much be that character. Because Bill Pullman in that show, he was played a polygamist, three wives, loved all three of his wives, very generous with all three of his wives. Each one of the wives had their own home, right next to each other. He was living a life. And I think that's what Cody was trying to portray. And when he sits there and talks about how he was like this advertising magnate selling these signs and everything was so beautiful and wonderful and it was so lovely because I was so successful and I brought these women along. That was a cute story. That was a cute story. I remember in the first season he said that yeah, Mary, she's working a little job, little job, take care of some bills. Janelle, she's working full time. She really helps out. You know, she takes helps me with some bills. But this is what Cody said, I am paying for Christine and I'm paying for Robin with my money, right? And that way he got to pretend to be the big time, big boss man, pimp daddy, who's taking care of all these women. And that's the image that he tried to sell us. And I think that it's not a surprise that he would try to maintain that. You know, that he's taking care of all these women and the kids, and he's doing it all by himself, and he should be celebrated. But next up we have Cat, Cat, uh, and she had some interesting calls.
Hello, James. This is Kat from Florida, and I want to talk about something that's kind of old, but I've been mulling it over for so long and keeping it in. And I want to talk about Cody and what I call Tyra Banks syndrome. And I grew up watching Tyra Banks, and she would always make everything about herself in some way, shape, or form. Bring it back to when she was a model, bring it back to her heyday, and just for the story. And that's exactly what Cody does. Any excuse to make it about him and make a story just because. And I think that's why he said the prayer when he baptized, is it Brianna or Aurora? Either way, when he baptized her, just so he could tell the story, just for the hell of it. Like, what would AUB Chuck Norris do? He wants to tell people what he does so he can always have something to say about him. What I call Tyra Banks syndrome. What do you think?
First of all, I love the get name Tara Banks syndrome. I think that would be accurate. Like I think that that's common. Like a lot of people have said that Cody displays narcissistic tendencies. That would be a tendency that you find in narcissists. That they do make everything about them because, frankly, they think that everything is about them. And honestly, if it's not about them, they don't care. So, in order for him, like the weird part about it is, and this is like a kind of the backhand other side of it. As a narcissist, if he really wanted to make a connection with uh with Brianna in her baptism, I think it was Brianna got baptized. Uh the weird no, actually I think it was Aurora. I think it was Brianna. Yeah, Brianna sounds right. In order for him to make a connection with her for her baptism, he would have to make it about himself. He would have to do something to keep his interest and make it interesting for him. And the only way he could do that is to be a part of it. And not only be a part of it, technically, the way he talked about it, he basically led it. If you listen to him describe it, yeah, I got down in the tub and then I'm the one that dunked her in and I'm the one that said a prayer to her. And, I kind of stole the show a little bit because that's what it do, because I'm a star. And that's him like showing that interest to her. And I think that that's part of what he was doing. Like as weird as it is, maybe that's his sign of his that's the closest thing he could get to affection is to try to make himself a part of something so that it becomes important. Not only to the other person, you should be thankful that I'm here to do this for you. But it's also important for him because even in the short term, I'm not going to care about this unless I'm a part of it. Like if he was sitting in the audience, this just be another one of those days because he did it as he said to her in the restaurant. You're going to remember this for the rest of your life. This is probably going to be the most important day of your life. She said, well, what about the day I get married or have kids of my own? Yeah, that'll probably pale at like maybe two or three. But when I baptize you, that's number one. The only thing that'd be a more correct answer is when I came into your life and adopted you. That's when the greatness started. But yeah, I think that that's part of it. I think that is definitely a thing that's going on with him. But that's the crazy thing about like people. I'll say I won't even say he's a narcissist. Selfish ass people. That's the funny thing about selfish ass people. They do make everything about them. and it's not interesting to them unless it's about them. And even when it's not about them, it has to be about them because nothing else is important. But here's Kat's second part.
This is Kat again. I just want to elaborate a little bit further. I don't think when he baptized her had anything to do with his religion. I want to say that much. I don't think it had anything to do with the AUB and making sure he covers all bases when he baptizes her. I really think he did it for the story. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's the other part of it. Like they need a storyline bad. Like they need to have something to talk about and something to put on the screen. And as I've said before, the crazy part is understanding how this show is filmed. They have tons more material that we never saw that what came out of Robin and Cody's house. Stuff that they wanted to orchestrate, stuff that they wanted to set up, stuff that they wanted to air, and it never aired. And I honestly think that's why Cody and Robin were as mad as they were and why they refused to answer any questions during the course of the tell all. Because that was their way of saying, like, I don't want to have anything to do with this because you guys won't put up my very impressive my very impressive scenes where I took Robin out dancing and I was twirling around on the dance floor, and we didn't see none of that in season 19. So I'm not going to answer any more questions about Christine and Robin and what you guys want to talk about because you're not airing my stuff, and we'll see how that works out. uh, oh wow, Pack Salsa Bravo. Uh, let's go through some of these super chats. Jody Perscala, $9 super chat. Your mic sound is bad. Thank you so much. I tried to correct that earlier. I appreciate it. I saw your note, so I wanted to acknowledge it. And the super chat, thank you so much. Let me give you a little something. So, what the hell? Oh, here we go. I'm like, what the heck? All right. Then we have Brittany Not Brittany, 4.99 super chat. The way Corey from Into S seemed to describe it was that Alice came in, pissed everyone off, so he made her to keep the peace. He moved here to keep the peace. Yeah, right. I can see that. I can see that. Notes to self. That's the into that. Well, because she was probably making demands, you know. 'Cause if she's anything like a daughter, like she probably had a whole bunch of like saying that Corey from Notes to Self, 444, uh said that Alice, Robin's mom pissed off uh her husband's family, and that's why they live so far apart. You know, there's something to be said about not being close by to somebody so they don't put their hands up on you. So I mean, that is what it is. Like, look, I'm gonna have to move you to a different part of the state or another state, because otherwise, wifey number one, she gonna catch a case with you. You know what I mean? Wifey number one gonna catch a case. Then who gonna raise these kids? I'm gonna raise them. I'm a man of the man. I don't raise no children. Why would I raise kids when I'm miss out on my $200 an hour? So why am I gonna try to raise these kids when I can hire a babysitter or marry a wife? You know, that's crazy. It's so bad. I got to move my wife out of self defense. Because you're like, she talks too damn much. Wife number one ready to go up in her mouth. It's gonna be bad. If she keep talking, it's gonna be tough. Thank you so much, Brittany. All right. Then we have Raiders Ma 499 Super Chat. Let's say the baptism was a storyline. Why not choose something less hurtful to his kids? Because Cody and Robin are psychos. That's why it's almost like they have like we can either go do something that's like ride horseback, like Cody rides horses. He want to show off on the horse anyway during his son's funerals, progression. He want to be out there riding horses. Show the kids out there riding horses. Put Solomon and Ariella on the back of some ponies at the park. They had a guy walk them around in the circle. You know, while Robin and Cody talk about like carving up that land. We gonna steal all the land from the wives. You know. Okay, hey Solomon, hey Ari, But yeah, it's almost like let's get something that's gonna be super meaningful to her later in life and trounce all over it with a storyline. But then at the same time, it's not like Robin and Cody have a whole lot else to talk about. You know what I mean? Like, what else are they going to talk about? Like, they're going to talk about how much in love they are? Like, I'm already tired of that storyline. I'm going to keep it all the way a buck. I'm already tired of that shit. So, I mean, there's that. There's that. I love her so much. She's so incredible. Oh, God, she's so pretty. She's so beautiful. Oh, wow. Oh, wowie, wow. She's so quiet. And maybe that's why, like this whole time, we thought like when he was saying like my quiet, shy wife, maybe he went my quiet wife because he was tired of hearing her mouth. That's why he go to Salsa Brava. He was just kind of. It's not so much a sense of praise as it is a prayer. Did she take the hint? And shut the hell up, like you know what I mean? Oh, my quiet wife, who's shy and quiet. He doesn't say anything. She's just pretty, and I can look at her and I have to talk to her because she's quiet. That's what I'm looking for. Quiet, silent wife. Then go home. Oh, I'm tired of your shit. Blah, 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 blah. All up and down his back. That's why I be spending all my time in Salsa Bravo. That's why you come in and smell like booze every day. Girl, I'm tired of you talking about my drinking. I ain't drinking that much. I'll just go down to South Bravo to do some work because I can't work here. I can't concentrate. Yeah, well, maybe if you did some actual work, you would be able to concentrate on something instead of sitting around just staring at the walls. Well, look, maybe I go to Salsa Bravo because I want to be with somebody who appreciates you. Well, you will find some appreciation there if you actually did some shit. Oh, look, you ain't gonna be talking to me. I'll go back to Salsa Bravo. Good. Maybe you'll find a job. Why don't you put in an application while you down? Hey, I'm going back and forth now. Quiet, wife, silent, wife. Well, thank you, Raiders. But I appreciate you. Oh man. Betty Aldridge in the house. 2000 super chat. Missed y'all. Okay, Betty. What's going on, Betty? Missed you too. Something, something, Betty. In the house. Had some funky dancing. I mean, did that shit now. My knees might go. Uh, yeah, my demure wife. My do quiet, demure wife. My silent wife. My non-nagging wife. Cody, I'm tired of you talking shit. Oh man, you think Cody be giving good tips at the Salsa Brava? That's what I'm curious about. You ever curious about that? Like, you go to Salsa Brava so much, you hook them up, right? Like, especially you see them all the time. Like, I remember story time. Me and my wife, we would go to we had a place that we would go all the time, and we'd go to this restaurant all the time, right? And so it was something that we did when we first started dating, right? And it was the IHOP. I'll tell you what place. It's not that big. It's not that deep. Uh, and we would go like when we were early on in our relationship. Sometimes she worked nights, and we'll go to IHOP so that we could get breakfast or whatever. And it kind of just became a tradition. So when the kids would go to school or whatever, go back to school, we'll make it a date to go to IHOP. Or they had, something was going on. Like, hey, you can go to IHOP. Okay, let's go. And when I go out, I typically like to take care of service because that's a hard job. I never worked in that service industry, so I can't say from personal experience, but I know a lot of people who have, and I know people who worked in bars, restaurants, so on and so forth. Right? I know people who worked in like really expensive steakhouses and places like that. Uh, and one of the things that I always like to do is I like to take care of the people who took care of me. If I go and I have a good, especially if I have a good experience, I'll give a standard 15, 20%. And then if I have like exceptional service, I'll go higher. Clearly, I'll go way higher than 20%, out of appreciation. And we would go, there was one point we were going to the IHOP a few times, and I would take care of the people. And say all that, not to brag, but I say all that to say this. We get to the aisle, and there was a guy who would we would go, and he would see us come in, and because I take care of you, right? And he knew that he made sure we were sitting in his section. I remember one time we walked in, he was like, hey, "You two, come on!" Like we didn't have to wait, put our name in nothing. We just walk in, got that VIP treatment. We got hooked up. Gave him it was like right around Christmas time. I gave him a little, something for Christmas. Went to the bank, gave him a little something, something. Man, have yourself a Merry Christmas, brother. You know, because he took care of us like a few times that year. So, but I wonder. I say all that to say that. I wonder if Cody does the same shit. I doubt it, but it will be a thing to do. Like especially if you're there, if you sit somewhere for hours, you sit somewhere for hours. You need to take because when you're sitting at a table, especially if you're at a table in a restaurant, you're sitting in somebody's section. So the longer you sit in that section, you're taking money out of that waiter or that server's pocket because they could put somebody else there and that could be an additional tip that they get for that evening. Like so you're literally taking money out of their pocket. So if you sit somewhere for hours, the only way you should be sitting somewhere for hours is if you sitting at the bar, right? And even that could be kind of dangerous unless you Ubering, because drunk driving, DUIs is expensive, Jack. I don't know from personal experience, but I've seen the bills from cases, and them things they run you up. They run you up like between the fines and just the lawyer fees alone could be 10 grand. And then you on top of that, you have the fines, the inconvenience of possibly missing work. If you hit and hurt somebody or kill somebody, God forbid, you know, you could go to jail. So it's just not worth it. So get that Uber, especially if you want to be just at a bar for hours. I can see, like, no, don't get me wrong. If you go and it's an activity heavy thing, like I like activity. I'm an activity guy, right? Karaoke or something, like something else going on in the bar, open mic or whatever, trivia or something to that effect. That's why they bring those activities in because they want people hanging out and chilling. But if you just sitting there at a table, you get a salad, You get, yeah, then the guy come out, uh, can I get you something to drink, sir? Give me some water. Ice water with a little bit of lemon. Oh, it's gonna be lemony, all right. It's gonna be yellow. Like, hey, don't drink that water. You know, like you are crushing them. You're crushing them. So it would be so ignorant for him to sit at a table just for hours at a time. Like that's where my mind went. Like it's crazy that you were talking about how you can't watch your kids because you're so busy, but now you're just sitting at the restaurant by yourself hours, lamenting the fact that you lost 60%. I'm sorry, not 60% of your paycheck. Three of your wives and your family and your kids are all gone. You're lamenting all that, but first thing I went to was just the fact that you're screwing over those servers. Got to take. I hope he's taking care of them. I hope he is, and not just with, we shoot our show here, so I should get a discount. Like, don't do that Ebenezer Scrooge shit. Like, I hope that I knew that there was one guy. He would go to the bar. I'm not gonna say his name, so he's not gonna be embarrassed. But I would be humiliated if somebody said this about me. But he would go to the bar and they would, uh, he would ask for a beverage, frosty, frothy, carbonated. I don't know if it's carbonated, but it was certainly like wheat and barley. He would ask for a beverage, and they would bring it out to him, and he would tip him a nickel. Like he wasn't an old guy. You would expect like nickel. This dude must be like 80 or something. Like he must be a senior citizen. No. This is what, like, I was a younger guy. I was way younger. And he must have been maybe in his like late 30s. I want to say he was old enough to know better. He was definitely young enough to know that by giving somebody a nickel, like you must not never want to see this bartender again. Because to tip somebody, it's one thing to not tip them. Like there's tipping, there's not tipping, and then there's, of course, over tipping, which is you're generous and you really appreciate them. And then there's like under tipping, which basically is saying to the bartender or the server, you ain't shit. Like you give somebody a nickel? Are you kidding me? You had to, dude, you had to have change in your pocket. They don't even give you nickels at the bar. Nobody is sitting there counting out nickels and pennies. They give you quarters. They got- Everything is like 250, 350, 450, 550, $8, whatever. Right? 850. But they're not gonna be like, yeah, that's 823. I guess not a thing. But this dude, man, and the only way you might get that is if they run your taxes or something, run your tax. But this dude, man, yeah, Nichols, they started calling like the bartenders and the servers, they started calling my man Nichols. Yeah, every time I see him now, I'm like Nichols. Oh, well, I don't see him as much anymore. But yeah, that dude was funny. He thought he was doing something. I gave him a little tip. I'm like, you gonna tip him? I left the tip. You gave her a nickel. If you don't put a dollar, pick that nickel up and put a dollar down at least. I don't want her to think I'm with you. It was. I can't even say he was a friend of mine. He was like a dude I saw when I was out, and I'll go some at open mics and things like that. Like play, go out and play bands and all that. But yeah, so crazy. That dude was crazy. I hope he is tipping him. But let me get to this thing I wanted to talk about because I pulled some stuff that I thought was interesting, and I'll say that. Uh, there was an episode where, okay, here we go. There was an episode, season 14, and if you recall, I think it was like "The Heat Is On" is the name of the episode, and this is the episode where there was a fire. And Mary was concerned. It's like Mary was acting weird because she's Well, I won't say she was acting weird. I understand why she was upset because she thought all her stuff was gonna get burnt up, and she's kind of like one step off of a hoarder anyway, saving every damn thing. And so she had all her stuff, and she was trying to load her house up because the fire was coming. Like they were having wildfires out in Arizona, and she thought all her stuff was gonna burn up. And while she's loading the stuff up, this is the time she yelled at Christine, and then Christine was like, "All right, well, she rolled out and she ran off. Like Christine ran off. She cried in the car, but embarrassed and humiliated. Like she yelled at her in front of her kids, and that's the weird thing about it. Like if I'm here to help you and you gonna bark at me in front of my children, I gotta cut your ass out. Like I understand you upset. We gonna be upset together. You get cussed out. But like, let me get out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up stakes. Last thing you need is to lose your stuff and get your ass whipped in his garage. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave because I don't need it. I don't need to talk to the police today. I'm good. I'm good. Because she was yelling in Christine's freaking face, Jay. Don't be playing, Christine. Don't be playing. Oh shit. Mary, calm down. Just saying, don't be kidding around and shit. Mary, Mary, I'm gonna talk to you patiently because I understand you scared. You scared you're gonna lose your stuff. But what's not gonna happen? We're gonna have to rein this in, Mary. Don't make a bad situation worse. Okay? Just saying. But there was a part in that episode that I wanted to pull up. Uh you know, just that but there's a part in that episode where Mary had this to say. Now, keep in mind, Mary, there's a distinct distinction in this family. Distinct distinction. That's cute. Um, there's a distinction in this family. You have the married ones, legally married, who is Mary and Robin, and then you have the never married, Janelle, Christine. And this is what Mary had to say.
Oh, hey, Robin.
Yeah.
Come here. Should I keep it?
Let it burn. I'll burn mine. You burn yours. We'll burn them with our bras. How's that sound?
There you go.
Look, I got my marriage certificate. I'll burn mine. You burn yours. Because we're the only ones who actually would been married. Shit's cute. Shit's cute. Funny part is that, well, I guess Robin had one child out of wedlock, but all her other kids were born in wedlock. Same thing with Mary. The other two wives can't say that, you know. Um, and it's one of those things that we heard for years that it wasn't a big deal. It's not a big deal. A marriage is just a paper shuffle. It's not a big thing. It's something that we just do, etc., etc., etc. But they both cherish that little piece of paper, and that little piece of paper was very important to them. And I didn't just pull it up because I wanted to slam Mary and Robin on the fact that they were kiki and potentially making the other wives feel bad, hurting their feelings by demonstrating that they were the only legal wives. I did it for a reason, and the reason can be found in this next episode. Let's take a look at this second clip.
In a plural family, there is only one legal marriage allowed because that's what the state allows. Right now, in this world, plural marriages aren't legal. And so there's only one of us that can have a legal marriage. But I feel like that they're destructive as far as a plural family is concerned. Since we all can't have a legal marriage, if there was a way for us to just not have any legal marriage, I think that would actually be the best way to do it.
And that last part is the part that really stuck me. That's the part that really landed. Is that one, Robin is full of shit. Okay, let's cut to the crap. Robin's full of shit because she presented it like, there was a time where if we could all have equal relationship status, and if we can't, I wish there was a world where either we all have it or none of us had it, because that would be a world that I could live in, and that's what I would hope for. Here's the thing, genius. If you all can't have it, and if you all can't have it, then none of you should have it. There's zero reason as to why you didn't file for divorce. There's zero reason why you didn't file for divorce and break that legal constraint that you had over your other wives. There's zero reason why you wouldn't do that. If that's what you really believe, you could go down tomorrow. There's well, the reason why we got married in the first place is because we wanted to adopt the children. I wanted Cody to be their father, their legal father, so that my ex-husband couldn't come back and take them away. If that's the case, if that was the case, once Cody was approved by a judge for the adoption, and he was granted that adoption, and he became their legal father, you divorcing Cody would not remove him as the legal father. It wouldn't remove his obligations. 100%. This is the equivalent if I had a friend or my son, he met a young lady, she had children, and she wanted him to adopt her kids. That would be a conversation I would have to have with my son, because jackass, if you guys, especially if you guys aren't married, you don't plan on, you're not sure that this is somebody you want to be with. If you adopt her kids, they are your kids just the same as if you would have made those kids yourself. You know what I mean? You're the home battered them babies. Hit them with the home batter, right? The home baby batter. If you would have did that and you would have cooked a kid, popped it in the oven, cooked it for 9 months, and boom, bam, you got a baby. Same difference if you adopt a child. Same damn difference. Which means if you with the baby mom, you're not with the baby mom, that is your child. Same difference with Robin's kids. So for her to get on our screens, and this is just another example of part of the reason why I'm so frustrated with TLC and even Sister Wives, because just that, like, they play in our face, y'all. They played in our damn face. For 19 seasons, these people have played in our damn faces. Oh, if I could get, if we all had to be married, then none of us should be married. Divorce. Robin, why don't you file for divorce and free yourself from the chains of the oppressor, so that way you don't have to be tied to this man in this oppressive state and tied to the state, because the state marriage don't mean shit. It's all about the church marriage. Robin, you can file for that divorce if you like. Why don't you do that? On second thought, I'm going to stay married to Cody for the family. So full of shit. So full of shit. Like, it's just, I don't know. They're just playing in our faces. Oh, there we go. I'm back. I'm back. Oh man, took my headphones out. Next thing you know, my audio cuts off. What kind of what kind of Mickey Mouse organization? So, but that's my point. If you are doing it this way, and you care, you're such a, like, she tried to say it like this is a movement. Oh, This is something I firmly believe in because I believe in the equality because we got to move together as a family because we're family. And this paperwork don't mean shit because we're about a family. And it comes down to the spiritual part because we don't care about this legal stuff because the legal stuff just getting away. Why don't you get a divorce? Oh, I ain't saying I'm giving up my rights. I'm not saying I'm giving up my stuff. You know? See, you preaching at a congregation could hear you. I'm telling you, man. It messes me up. Like they played in our faces. That's just another example. And when I pulled the clip, I wasn't even thinking about that aspect of them playing in our faces, but that's what that was. 100%. That was them playing in our damn faces because them people behind you can't tell me them producers didn't know. Even when she said it, like I blew past that shit because I just blew half the stuff Robin said, I just blew off. And I didn't really think about because at the end of the day, she was quick, fast, in a hurry to talk dumb shit. Like she would just get up and say a bunch of stuff, didn't make no damn sense. Like she believed in what she's saying. But the fact of the matter is you don't believe in any of this. And then you have to ask the question, it begs the question, when she came into this family, and I don't think anybody can dispute this. She came into this family not to join the culture of the Brown family. She came in to usurp the power of the Brown family, the culture of the Brown family, and replace it with her own positions, her own traditions, and her own mindset. That's what this was. Like that's what we watched. We watched, we didn't watch a family joining, somebody joining a family, a family uniting. What we watched was a damn hostile takeover. This is what a hostile takeover looks like. She came into the family and she incorporated her belief system, her roles, and you ask yourself, how is it that Robin and Cody find themselves winning this game this whole time? The reason why they're winning the game is because they're the ones that wrote the damn rules. They're the ones who wrote the rules. And you ask yourself, well, why did she write the rules this way? Why did she do it? How did she come to this decision that she was going to conduct herself this way and treat this man this way and come in not only to the family with a plan, but she came in with a strategy. And it begs the question, where did she get the strategy from? This goes beyond just plan. I plan to take over the world. A strategy is, I'm going to first do this, and I'm going to do that. And my motivation is going to be this, and this is what's going to account for that. And that's how she entered into the family, and that's what she did when she came into the family. You know what I mean? And you ask the question, you have to ask the question, why did she do it this way? And where did she get the answer? And the answer, I think, is reflected in this next clip, which is played in this same episode.
One of the reasons I'm so passionate about this is because my mom is a second wife, and I know what kind of pain that caused her, always being, the one that's not quite recognized as a wife. It's very personal to me. So burn them all.
Burn them all. So this is one of them situations where you say, blame the mama. It's mom's fault. Mom dupes. Look at the lineage, where she came from, that's how she figured out what she wanted to do. And this kind of goes hand in hand with what Brittany was saying earlier about Corey from Notes to Self saying that part of the reason why the husband had Paul Sullivan, Robin's stepfather, had to move Robin's mama far away is because she came in with demands. So you think that Robin's mom, who came into that relationship with demands, and maybe she was being slighted because she was moved out of town and she only saw her husband 3 nights a week. You don't think she came in with strategies and plans on making sure and ensuring that when her daughter entered into a polygamous relationship as the 4th wife, a family that's already established, a family that already has older husbands and older wives that she didn't come in with a plan and she didn't hip her daughter to the fact that, girlfriend, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it. This is what you want to shoot for. First, you want to do this, then you want to do this, then you want to do this. You want to keep that honeymoon status. You want to keep that man happy, fed, and effed. I almost had me cussing. Y'all almost got dusty and dirty. I apologize. But you understand what I'm saying. You want to make sure that when that man comes to your house, there's a place of no problems. You fill his belly and you empty his thing. You do that stuff. He should walk out of your house with a full belly and empty chimichangas. And that's how you keep your man happy. And you wonder why Cody was twisted up? Cody, like the messed up part about it, Cody was 15 years older than Robin. I think it's about 10 years. He got about 10 years. I'm pretty sure. Cody's 56. And Robin's 46. So he got it 10 years. Because I was waiting for somebody to be like, he ain't that much older than her. He got about 10 years. He got about a decade. And you wonder why young girl able to come in there, because she showed up with a plan. He in there making dick decisions. Pardon my French. I apologize for those who are a little more sensitive. But that's what it was. He in there making D decisions. Okay? And she's in there coming in with a plan. He only thinking about, can I sneak over to your house? Can I get over there before dinner? Can I make sure that the wives don't notice that I'm there too long and I'm going to just slip in and I'm going to slip out there because I want to see you real bad? That's as much planning as he put into it. Robin was making plans. Not only was she making plans to take over the family, but she had retirement plans. She got vacation plans. She got plans for the repass. She was planning on your ass dying. If you died, if a tree fell on Cody's ass tomorrow, she got a plan for that. These other folks, man, God bless them all, every last one of them. But at the end of the day, the Brown family was wholly unprepared to deal with somebody who had already strategized about being in this relationship. One of the things that I was doing, that I've been doing is that I've been going through and I'm kind of reformatting a lot of what I do on a YouTube channel. But I came across a young man, and I'm going to play his video in a shorter video. But he was talking about his growing up with the Kingston group. It's escaping polygamy, one of those escaping the Kingston clan version of polygamy, which they are not the Brown family. They are like the dusty, dirty ones. Like, no offense to the people who might have escaped, but they are wild. Like, you got uncles marrying nieces and cousins marrying cousins. Like, the Kingstons are no joke. Like, they serious about their stuff. But some of the stories that he told were heartbreaking. And there's another person who talks on social media about being currently in a polygamous relationship. And she's like early Brown family. Everything is wonderful and magical. And, her and her sister wife are best friends and they love each other. And she couldn't imagine not being in a sister wife situation. And it occurred to me, like, she talked about like their struggles early on and being from a polygamous family. And it occurred to me that one of the things that would be extremely helpful is if you had somebody who came in, Megatron, since it's the constant mouth sores, yeah, right? You got to learn them skills somewhere. That ain't the kind of thing they teach you in secondary school. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you gotta go in and get that pro level work. Sometimes you like to do different kind of jobs. But the whole thing is that you want somebody who's going to teach you. Like, and that was one of the things that always kind of bothered me. Like, you don't have anybody give you guidance on how to do this. Like, everybody sounds like they trying to figure it out. Like, and they've been literally doing this for like 100 years, right? And nobody told you, like, hey, man, this. like it's a monogamous. You have guys like my dad. If I found myself in a situation where I was treating my wife poorly or my kids poorly, I can see my dad pulling me aside and saying, James, you got to do better. That you messing up here, here, here. You know, what were you thinking when you did this, that, and the other? But Dad, you don't understand. Yeah, okay. I understand all that, but this is the how you resolve that issue. Like, you know what I mean? You have somebody in your life who will pull you aside and give you the 411 on how to do it. I don't see that with the Brown family. It sounded like Cody was trying to make up shit as he was going along. And because he's not that creative, it didn't go well. He has no foresight as to potential problems. And so he didn't make plans for potential problems. And the wives were just, you know, no disrespect to them, but it just seemed like they were kind of going along to get along. So when you have that, someone with a group of folks with no plan, encountering somebody who has thoroughly planned this out, and let's be very clear, I'm ready to stand on the notion that her mom planned this out. And dead ass planned it out on how to take this family over, especially because the whole reason why Robin got with them is because she found out about the damn show. She wanted to get on the show, and baby, when they get on this show, they're gonna have a ton of money, and you want to make sure that you're first in line for the money. You want to make sure that you and yours get taken care of. It's too many ways like, because even going into the show, this show wasn't guaranteed that it would go on for like 20 years or 20 seasons. She thought maybe at most this might last like 5 or 6 seasons. You might only get one season, so you got to make that shit count. You got to get in there and get everything you can get. And, you know, maybe even that first time, oh, well, you know, when Robin came into the family, she didn't even take her first paycheck. Maybe the reason why Robin didn't take her first paycheck, like I thought maybe Robin didn't take her first paycheck because the family had already thrown out huge expenses because they were taking care of her when she moved from Salt Lake or St. George down to Lehigh. The family footed that bill because she didn't have a job. So when she moved, she got the rental down the street around the corner so that she could have her space and she could build that relationship with Cody, and they could basically fund the downfall of their family. That was the Brown family paying for that out of their pockets because they hadn't received the paycheck from TLC yet. So at the end of the season, when they try to get caught up on bills, yeah, they very well may take that first paycheck from her. And she might even say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and give you that first paycheck. You know why they give you the first paycheck? It's kind of like when you go to certain restaurants. Like I remember when you go through the mall, there was a couple places that would give you samples. Chick-fil-A was one. And then there was like this Asian cuisine place that would also give you samples. Like they give you a bourbon chicken or whatever, right? Banging, it was delicious. But delicious. But they give you that stuff because at the end of the day, they know you say, well, they just want you to sample their product because they know it is strong enough. And they do that because they're trying to drum up business. The same reason why like I tell my kids, like, you know, don't take nothing from somebody. Somebody encourage you to take some free stuff. Be very leery about taking free stuff, especially when it comes to substances, because you get on the right substance, you only got to do one. So yeah, it's easy for me to give you that first one because I give you the first one, I got a customer for life. And in this situation, sometimes in stores, we'll break it down a little further. In stores like Walmart, Target, the big box stores, the warehouse stores, they have what's called a loss leader. For those who don't know, a loss leader in this type of retail or business retail is when you have a product that you price almost at a loss, and in some cases, like with the box stores, I know for sure they have several loss leaders in the store, like things that are very popular, like paper towels, shit like that. That every time they sell a unit of paper towels, they lose money. They cost them money to bring the stuff in, stock it on the shelf, and then sell it. They losing a lot of money because they're losing money off of the product, like because they're actually pricing it below the unit price of said product. So if say it costs the store $3 to bring it in, they sell it for $2.50. That 250 does not include the uh uh receivership, like transportation. So they receive it at their warehouse, they bring it from the warehouse, that's gas, that's transportation. Then they unload it on the dock. The dock workers have to distribute it on the pallets or whatever, and then the pallets have to go to the floor, and then you pay the workers to put it up. Like that's all cost on top of it, right? But the unit itself, they're taking a loss on every piece. Why do they do that? They do that because if you go in and you get a paper towel, you buy a pack of paper towels for $2.50, and down the street they sell them for $4 or $5. You think that everything is going for that price. Everything in the store, everything they're selling is cheap too. That's part of the reason why they do the loss leader. It also brings people into the store because you go in specifically because you want to get some paper towels for $2.50 where they sell them down the street for $5. But what you don't realize is when you pick up a pack of hamburger or plates, you might be paying $2 or $3 more than the competition. So they making their money back. Nothing's given for free. And I would say the same thing when she came into the family. She gave them that first paycheck, but then she took that first paycheck 100 times over the course of the 20 seasons that they've been on the show. The other 18 seasons, she been getting them. She been taking them under. She moved the whole family. And by the second season, she moved the family from a house that they could have easily paid off. They could, if they went out to Las Vegas and built 4 homes in Las Vegas, they could have easily paid off that Lehigh house. They could have paid off that Lehigh house. They could have went around and bought that house down the street around the corner for Robin, and the family could have owned both those properties. But that's not what they did. She had them move out to buy $500,000 a piece houses. Bought 4 $500,000 houses. So they bought $2 million worth of real estate in Las Vegas. Then she had them sell all that real estate and basically give her the money. That's a damn plan. She was a woman with a plan. And like I said, based off of this, I'm going to make sure that my mother's history and things I learned from my mother, this is the shit she learned from her mama. How to get ahead. Like, it's not just, oh, well, I learned from my mama to treat him like a playboy and make sure you take care of him. And that way, when he walk out the house, he leave with a little bit of a limp and he completely satisfied. That's not just what she learned from her mom. She learned from her mom how to manipulate a situation. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And that's not even like so much, oh, you disrespecting her mom. No, I'm just saying that her mom taught her something that wouldn't it have been interesting if those other women's moms would have taught them the same thing? Not necessarily how to do it. Okay? Because I talked to my daughter since she was little. I've been talking to my daughter since she was little about what she can expect guys to say and how how guys try to throw spit game at you. I've been talking to her since she was a young buck. Young buck. I've been raising her up, so she got game. My daughter has game, okay? And she recognized, and I'm not teaching her game because I wanted to go out and take advantage of people. I'm teaching my daughter game so she can spot the game. When some fool is running game on her, and he's spitting that game, and it shit sound good, and he talk, oh, girl, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take you to the moon. I'm going to fly you around the stars, and girl, by the time we get down, we're going to be in heaven. She recognized all that shit because I talked to her about it early on. I told her about it early on. And that's what I mean. Wouldn't it have been something if Christine's mom, like her mom was so busy trying to get out of polygamy that she ain't have a chance to pull her daughter aside. By that time, when she left polygamy, her daughter Christine was so wrapped up into thinking polygamy was the way to go because she loved her daddy, and her daddy was doing the right thing, and she got brothers and sisters and all these cool people around, and she didn't see the pain involved, and nobody hipped her to the game because her mom was a basement wife. And she didn't say, look, girl, this is how you not be a basement wife. You got to do blah, 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 blah. When a man try to come into you and tell you that, this is how you run that shit. And when another woman show up, you got to keep both eyes on that heifer. You don't let her come in and start pulling no strings. You got to make sure that she know what this is. You don't let somebody come into your family and your family been running good and it's finally firing on all cylinders, so much so that you got a show, and you let somebody come in and start fiddling with the works. Please, don't nobody do that shit. If you had a successful business and you were on a point where not only were you making a profit, but you were extremely successful. You don't let somebody come in there and say, yeah, we're gonna start from scratch. We're gonna go ahead and go back to the drawing board on this. The hell we are. No, we not. Not today. Hell to the no, we doing that. This is already working. It's taking care of everybody. Everybody's needs are being taken care of. Why are we gonna come in and start messing with it? Part my about the cuss. Why are we gonna come and start messing with it? And that's what happened when you get taught game. You get taught that this shit don't work. A lot of people are looking at this like even now, a lot of you guys will talk about polygamy. Part of the reason why you have such strong positions on polygamy is maybe from a personal experience, personal observation, but dare I say it might be influence. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to be involved, like I'm not trying to close my mind to anything. If my kids come in and they're able to explain to me what it is they're doing, okay, fine. Like I said, as long as I don't involve no kids, and as long as everybody is aware and is making decisions for themselves, fully informed decisions, you can talk to me about it, okay? But when somebody come to you and start telling you, yeah, you could join this family and I can make all your dreams come true. You join this family. What you want to accomplish, girl? I want to be a movie star. Girl, you couldn't do that as a monogamist. If you was a monogamist, then you wouldn't be able to do half this stuff. Because what? You gonna have some kids, and then you gonna be locked up, and you ain't gonna be able to do none of this stuff, girl. So what you need to do is join me in my harem, because we support all ourselves and make sure we take care of business, and we make all our fantasies come true. Because then you got a whole support system. And that's what, in case y'all didn't know, that's some of the shit that some of these jokers be telling you. And then they get the first thing they do is they tell you about like how awesome it is and how amazing it is because you guys could all support each other, and you have like built-in mentors, and like we all like successful people, and we build each other up and take care of each other and give each other advice and stuff. It's like a brain trust up in the family, like one family, like we taking it to the stars because we just don't making power moves because that's how the family work. And then they have you go meet one of the other wives. You know, if this was in the parlance of street folks, they would call that the bottom B itch. You get it? She would come in and she'll start talking about how great this is and how wonderful this is, because she'll talk to her from the perspective of, I too may have had questions, but woman to woman, this is what you need to do because this is why it benefits women. And as a woman, we come into this type of relationship and quiet as kept. We actually run this whole shit because what we like to make these people think is that these men think that they run it all, but like they say, we as women actually control this whole thing. So this is a woman power movement, and we are just a bunch of women sitting around supporting one another. And then dude come in, Is everything cool? I just want to make sure that you guys was okay. And you getting some good information. Did you like talking to her? Did she answer all your questions? She tell you everything you want to know? That's that dumb shit. And it helps if you have somebody who's gonna come in, pull your coattails, and say, "Look here, don't fall for that. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, sweet cheeks." When somebody come into your family and they sitting there trying to, oh, I just want to make sure that I show my value to Janelle. I just want to get a great job or something and do something to show Janelle that I'm worth it, that I'm valuable, that I'm contributing to the family. This was season 2, episode 2, I think it was, where they're talking about the money, and Robin said that shit. That should have set off all kinds of red flags. If you really want to contribute to the family, the best way you can contribute to the family isn't just by sitting around babysitting some children, but you can go fill out some applications and get yourself a job. That's how you can contribute to the family. You know how you can contribute to the family? Contribute to the fucking family. That's the way you contribute to the family. Yeah, you contribute to the family. That's how you contribute to the family. Don't sit around and talk about how you wish you could contribute to the family when you got 2 hands and a strong back and 2 working legs, and you don't have no issues or problems. The only issue and problem is that you don't want to work. Okay, cool. But don't sit there and pretend like you want to contribute to the family when you actually don't. And if you have somebody who's going to come in, and irregardless of how good they look and how nice they are, this is real talk. Irregardless of how good they look or how nice they are, if they aren't going to improve your life, and this is whether you're a monogamous, polygamous, or whatever you are, whatever you consider yourself. If you have somebody, I don't give a shit how good they look, how good they talk, how good they present themselves, and how good they smell, or how they bing, bang, boom, bang, boom in that special place, it don't matter. None of that matters. Because when rubber meets the road, if they aren't improving your life, if they aren't helping you and improving your life and building your life and helping you to reach your goals, then what they are actually doing is they're going to take away from your life. They're going to make sure that you don't reach your goals. They're not going to help you do the things that you say you want to do for yourself or your family or your kids or anything else. And that's what we watched for the last 18 damn seasons. That's what we watched. Because we can sit here all day. We can sit here all day and talk about how Robin jacked this family up. But like it would have been kind of cool in an alternate universe, maybe on Earth 5406 Earth 3 or some shit. Maybe there's a universe where Christine, Mary, and Janelle actually had parents or folks in their life who pulled their coattails and said, you need to watch out for young hen. Because she gonna come in here and she gonna fuck up your whole pecking order. Up in the little hen house, she coming in, she messing up the whole pecking order. Okay, this ain't how prison rules work, son. This ain't how it works. You know? Because there's no way in the world she should have been able to walk up in the crib and just do that, like flip your whole family upside down. And this is just real talk. I think part of the reason why so many people watch the show and is like so mad and heated at Robin and Cody, and it almost seems like for people who are new to the show or new to the space, they ask the question like, why do people get so animated about Robin and Cody and how they did the family and why the family is treated so bad? Everybody grown, everybody making decisions. Because it's hard for folks, regular folks, people with common sense to sit there and understand, and it becomes unfathomable that you would be in a situation where you would let somebody walk up in your family and blow your whole shit up, especially when you got kids involved. If this is just a freaky deaky thing, we just adults jumping in and out of bed together, then it is what it is. Sloppy toppy whoppy whoppy. You know what I mean? It just happened. But you have kids involved. You're making children. And when you take that next step and there's kids involved, I think, in my personal perspective, I think that you have a higher duty. If you're not going to be responsible to yourself and for yourself, the least you can do is, if you're going to hit the copy button and make extra people, then you need to be responsible for those people. You don't just throw them to the wolves and let them grow up on their own. Yeah, that might, in some situations and circumstances, kids that are neglected can turn out to be some very strong kids and strong adults. Let's not get it twisted. Sometimes it's not, people don't turn out strong and healthy and productive because they were necessarily nurtured. Some people are strong because of the exact opposite reason. They weren't nurtured. They weren't uh baby. They weren't taken care of. So they learned to do those things for themselves. And then as adults, they just continue that same trend and they do these things for themselves because that's the way they've always done it, because they didn't have a backstop. They didn't have somebody home that they could trust. They didn't have that counseling person that could teach them and tell them that what was right and what was wrong and how to be the people that they needed to be in order to survive. They became the people who they are despite of their upbringing and the people that they had around them. And so I'm not necessarily saying that that's the case with the OG-13. I'm merely saying that you know it would have been things very well may have been different if the parents would have been focused more on kids. Like Cody said, taking care of the kids is easy. This is season 17 during the scene where he was breaking up with Christine on the porch. And he said, taking care of the kids is easy. I guess he would never know because he never did it. But at the same time, if she genuinely was focused on the kids 100%, she would have left your ass a long time ago. See, and this is why I give a lot of credence, and this is something that I've never said it, but here's something that is real talk. I think when Christine says that so much of her life was spent focusing on Cody and what Cody needed, what Cody wanted, when he came over, she dropped everything. I 100% believe her. I absolutely buy into that. Because if she was 100% focused on them kids, your ass wouldn't have been there. You could cancel Christmas, Playboy, because it's over for you. Don't make plans here. I don't know what you're going to do this weekend, but it don't involve me or mines. That would have been the whole deal. If she was hyper-focused on her kids, right, and making sure that her kids were okay and her kids were being respected, not only taken care of, but respected. You're not going to disrespect my kids by pretending like they don't exist or they're second-class citizens, or you'll spend time with them when you have the time, or you can make the time, or you can find the time. If you can't find the time, or they're not important enough for you to carve that time out of your schedule so that you can spend time with them to find out how they doing, then you can kiss their ass, you can kiss my ass, and you can see your ass to the curb. That's if you focused on the kids. So I 100% believe Christine when she said that. I think all of them, and this is part of the design of the church, is part of the design of how they instituted their form of matrimony and marriage, and how they did their communities. The women in these relationships are hyper focused on the men in these relationships. They are the center of their relationships and their worlds. And it gives them great deference. And it's part of the reason why so many of these guys are so selfish, because of the way that the women transfix themselves on these guys. And at the same time, because you are so, as a guy, if you delve into such hubris and you start to think that you are that guy, and I could do whatever the hell I want because I'm the man. I do whatever I want because I'm the man. You start to think that and you start to believe that bullshit, what's going to happen? You're going to find yourself in a situation where you're going to get taken advantage of by somebody who shows up with a plan. Because in your thinking that you are invulnerable, that you're smarter than everybody, and everybody should be kissing your ass, you don't see the one who is nice to you, comes in with the plan where she's nice to you. She tells you everything you want to hear. She gives you everything you want. She tells you that, oh, you are the greatest one. Oh, wonderful one. Oh, smart one. You don't even see that while you standing there thinking she has your back, Oh, Robin, she's behind me 100%. Yeah, she behind you 100%. You know why? Because it's easier to stab you in your freaking big back that way, you bastard. That's why she behind you the way she is. Because she gonna stab you. She gonna cut about a pound of bacon out your back, asshole. That's why she behind you the way she is. You don't even see it coming. And when she divorce you, you lose. Let this show get canceled. She gonna carve 4 pounds of bacon out your back. Trust me when I say this shit. She came in on the show noticed to get canceled, she'll be gone. The only reason why I don't think she'll divorce you when the show starts sputtering is because she's not sure if it's going to lead to a spinoff or not. That's the only thing going to save your marriage, player. The possibility that they might pick this show up and do something with you guys on the side. But if TLC come and say, yeah, we ain't doing nothing with none of y'all, she gonna, okay, partner, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank you very much for the invite and the time spent, and she gonna roll on your ass. And she gonna take about 2 pounds of lard out your ass. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna just go ahead and put this in my pocket. But like I said, I think that ultimately this little a segment that came from that previous episode is a demonstration that Robin didn't show up. Like I said, she didn't show up and just do this shit because she was maniacal and evil. I truly believe that this is something that her mom and the people in her family, her mom, possibly that cousin or whatever, I forget her name, sat there and made plan this shit out. Like, and Cody, because he wasn't planning, he didn't see it this way. He didn't think of it this way. Oh, I don't think, when I think of love, I don't think about dollars and cents. I think about the passion that we feel for each other because it's true love. That's all. I mean, that's wonderful if both of you are operating off the same page. But there's a real strong possibility you're coming at this relationship from a position of love. She's coming at it from a position of opportunity. And if that's the case, but bruh, you don't have a chance, bud. You don't stand a chance. And this is where, like, being like, I know he criticizes people who are mainstream. I don't know if I'm mainstream, what he would call it, like mainstream from the streets. He belonged to the streets. Urbanized, whatever the shit. He got game. He don't have game. He a play. None of that crap matters. It's just understanding that people come into relationships for different reasons. As like I said before, DMX, you know, I trust people to be them, but I trust myself to see them. I trust me that I'm gonna let you do you, boo boo. I'm gonna let you do you, and I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch. I'm not gonna try to correct you. I'm not gonna try to instruct you. I don't even hit people with a whole lot of boundary talk when I first meet them. Okay, because I want to see what they operating with. Where are your natural boundaries at? Because I don't want to create a situation where I am curtailing you or shaping you to be the type of person that'll be acceptable to me, and you are good enough to act like that type of person and deceive me into thinking that you're that one type of person when you're actually another type of person. And I firmly believe that I've always said that that's what Robin did. She heard what Cody wanted his other wives to be. He listened to them complain. He listened to him complain about all the shit that they not doing. They not doing this. They not doing that. They don't care how they look. They putting on weight. Blah, 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 blah. I want a good looking wife. I want somebody I could be proud of. Blah, 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 blah. They only sit around and talk to me about the kids. And the whole time she's sitting there taking notes. Okay, all right, okay, all right, okay. And then she just present herself as a person that you are describing. This is the equivalent, like with the sister wife situation, to be honest with you. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, James, because you've delved in the world of monogamy and you don't know nothing about polygamy, polygyny. None of, look here. People are people, relationships are relationships. Can I tell you a secret? Do you know who do this same shit? People who listen to you and want to come scoop your people. Your friends who want to come, the people call themselves your friends, and they want to come in and they want to scoop your loved one, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your significant other. What they do is they listen. Oh, you go to work, you be talking, my man, he want me to watch the football game. He obsessed with football. I hate that football shit. Oh, they just run around. It's so stupid. If next time she see him at a work meeting or a party or something, she just walk up to him. She don't have to say a whole bunch of shit. She just say, yeah, did you see that game last week? That shit was crazy. Oh, you like the game? You like football? Oh, I love football. Did I tell you how much I enjoy football? You like football? Oh my God. I didn't even realize. It's so nice to talk to somebody who loves football like I do. Well, I'm just saying, it's so weird. You've been my wife's friend for how long? I mean, forever. And I never knew you like football. Oh, I love football. See, she don't like football. So I really can't talk about football with her. But, I have been looking for somebody to talk football about. I mean, maybe we can catch a game. Like, she don't like the games and stuff. Maybe we can catch a game. That's cool. We just go as friends. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? We've all seen that shit. We all know somebody who specialized. I had names I used to call them type of dudes. But we know dudes like that. We all know women like that. We know people like that. We know that there's some women, some men, if you having issues or problems with your significant other, you don't tell this mother. Because if you tell them, you sure as hell going to hear about it later when they sit there trying to explain to you why they were seeing them. I don't know what happened. That's how that foolishness happens. And then the husband, he don't know that you've been talking to her. And he's so dumb half the time that he think that, oh, wow, it's just amazing that I ran into somebody who liked football. Clearly, my wife wouldn't have never told her that I was complaining about football. She must really like me. And then all of a sudden they have a connection. Oh, I don't know what happened. It's like we were just made for each other. Like I was saying things, she was finishing my sentences. It's like we had the same thought. You know why you had the same thought? Because your wife gave her the background first. She was taking notes from your wife or your girlfriend, and then she came back to you with those notes, and she was operating off the crib notes. That's what Robin did. Hello. She made friends with I think that it worked both ways. She did the shit to Mary, because she needed Mary to back her up and joining the family. So Cody gave her some notes, because Cody, like I say, he making D decisions. If you caught me earlier, I slipped up and said the actual word. But he was making D decisions, so he wasn't really thinking about what he was doing. He was just trying to think about how he could make it more convenient for himself to get Robin into the family. So he gave Robin the 411 on Mary. Robin go back, talk to Mary. Mary, da-da-da-da-da. Cody said you like da-da-da-da-da. You looking for a friend, and I'm going to be that person that you've been looking for all these years, the companion that you've been looking for, because you've been lonely and Cody's been mistreating you. So you're actually in this family by yourself. So I'm going to be your bridge back into the family. Hello. That's why Mary spent so much time thinking that Robin was actually trying to bring her back into the family, because that's how she met her when they first started. That's how it started. Because that's what Cody downloaded her to think. You need to convince Mary that you're going to be the bridge for her back into the family. So the whole time that Robin's been in the family from her introduction, she's supposed to be the one that's going to bring Mary back fully into the family. Then, when she gets Mary, and she actually creeps her way into the family, she just sits and listens. She talks to Mary, Christine, Janelle, especially Christine, because Christine is quick, fast, in a hurry to come back and complain. So as Christine is coming back complaining, telling Robin, we'll call her the enemy in this particular instance, not that she's a bad person, But in this particular instance, she's sitting there talking to the enemy, giving away all the damn plans. Cody don't this. Cody don't like that. Cody could sit up here. He's complaining about A, B, C, D, E. Then when Cody comes back after she gathered that information from the other three wives, Cody comes back and he's sitting there talking to her and he's telling Robin all the shit that these other three women are doing wrong. So all Robin technically has to do in order to create the illusion is not be those other three women. I go over to Robin's house. It's amazing. You know why it's amazing? Because she's operating off the crib notes. And who told her how to do that? Her mama. Just saying. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just, this shit is just like, it's just, I don't know. What frustrates me more than anything else, especially early on, they always sat around and they sat there and tried to pretend like there's no possible way that monogamists or people who aren't in polygamy could possibly understand what's going on. And I say to you that if you got common sense, if you've been around for more, in a dating pool, if you've been in a dating pool for more than 5 years, you've seen this shit already. Everything they're doing, you've seen. You can see how it would play itself out. It's just like the crazy part is they always kind of struck me in an interesting way because they always try to say that we didn't understand what was going on and we didn't know. The truth of the matter is, y'all didn't know. Y'all didn't understand what was going on. I think most of us, part of the reason why so many of us, get worked up about the show and talk shit about them the way that we do is because we do understand what was going on. We understood completely what was happening. We knew what was happening. I'm not confused. I don't need a interpreter. I don't need a Cody translator. I understand perfectly what he's saying. I understand perfectly what's going on. I understand why he had all of them fighting each other. Basic shit. Basic shit. When a guy goes to the club talking to two women and then they wind up out front, or a guy is cheating and he wind up having his wife fighting his girlfriend and he's standing out back or out front in the street watching them claw each other up and he's standing there giggling. We all know why he laughing. We all understand the ridiculousness of watching Christine have a problem with Mary and Janelle having a problem with Mary and Christine, and Mary having a problem with everybody. We understand why that was important for Cody. Because like that guy standing there watching his girlfriend and his wife fight, as long as they fighting each other and they focuses on each other, they can't focus on me. We all understood that shit. This ain't new to us. That's why people who talk about polygamy, it's so funny to me that they sit around and act like these concepts are different. And we don't understand them. We do. We just see them in a different light. The only difference between, in this particular situation, the only real difference between a polygamist and the guy who's standing there watching his girlfriend and his wife fighting on the porch versus basically the guy who's standing there watching his wife and his wife fight on the porch is that in the dating monogamous world, the two women didn't know about each other. That's the only real difference. They're all fighting for the same shit, though. They're fighting over the same reason, for the same reason. They're all fighting for the same reason. The only difference is that the two people out front fighting didn't know about each other. That's why they're fighting. They're both jealous. They're both upset. They both feel neglected and disrespected. But the monogamous might even go as far as to say, yeah, but at least my person respected me enough to try to keep that shit secret. They failed, but they ain't come to me with no dumb stuff to my face. Ah, but yeah, that was my contribution. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. But yeah, that was something I saw, and I thought it was interesting because, like I said, you know, to me it speaks on a couple levels. Just a quick summation. It speaks on a couple levels. First thing, where did Robin get the idea from? It was something that she didn't just develop herself. It's not something she fell into. She came into this situation with a plan. She understood things. That is actually the basis of this particular platform, this particular channel, is for us to have these kind of conversations. Because sometimes just having the conversations about things that are happening in the world, things that different type of relationships, different type of interactions, different types of people, by having those conversations, that is a form of preparation that if you ever come across a person like this in your personal life, you know how to address it. Like I said, I've said this before. If you're doing whether it's sports, martial arts, firearm training, weapons training, at the end of the day, you practice and train like you fight. So when you set up a situation, when you're practicing or you're training, you practice like it's game day. You train like it's fight day. Or you're fighting, like if you're training for street combat, you train like you would fight in the street. If those situations are to arise, then you fight or play like you practiced or trained. The importance of training and practice is that that's an environment that you can 100% control. It's not just practice or you're going over movements or trying to look cool. It's you're practicing with the same intensity and preparedness that you would if you were in that situation. And so if you at that point you can ask that next question. Okay, well, if I'm playing basketball and I go left, what happens if there's another guy come run up? What do I do then? What do I do next? Fake right, go back left? Do I go all the way right? Do I pull back, take the jumper? What do I do? In a combat situation, if a guy comes up and he starts pressing you, that's why you practice different ways to defend yourself, whether it's in close quarter, CQC, close quarter combat, or you practicing hand to hand, you practicing weapons techniques, you're practicing whether your back is against the wall, whether you have a shallow background, whether it's wide open, you practice it like if it's in the street. The street thing, anything can happen in the street. Part of the reason why you want to do that is because you always want to have the option to run away, get away. Because if you get there rolling around in the ground, anything can happen. You could be the best fighter in the world. You step off the curb wrong, game's over. So you practice those different situations. What happens if you do step off the curb wrong and you can't use your right leg or you can't use your right hand? Like if you do weapons training, they try to teach you to practice with your dominant hand as well as your weak hand. And you want to bring the proficiency of your weak hand up to your dominant hand so that way, if something were to ever happen to your dominant hand, you wouldn't be helpless. These are things you learn and practice during training or practice so that if it happens in the street or in a situation, you're able to respond. That's what maybe that's all Robin's mom did. She said, if you ever find yourself in this situation and this is what happens, you saw what happened to me, make sure it doesn't happen to you. Or she said, Cody Brown, married, 3 wives, 45 years old, 5'2", balding, makes X amount of dollars, potentially could make X amount of dollars if show lands. Make sure that when you appear on the show that you're friendly, supportive, and you do this, that, and other. When you get into the family, you want to make sure that you put yourself in a position that you can actually take a power position within the family. You're not just a married person like Mary, again, God bless them, Christine and Janelle, worked out for them at the end, but you're not in a weakened position like a Mary or Christine or Janelle, but you want to absorb and conquer the power position that Mary's in. You want to usurp that position so that way, if anything were to happen, you would have yourself, you would cover yourself, you would have your own back. You wouldn't have to rely on anybody else to take care of you and your kids. And moving forward, not only are you marrying better because she would be marrying somebody who's potentially going to make money than her last husband, but you want to make sure that you secure yourself so that way you're not forced to go back onto the market and try to find another guy who's making as much money as potentially as Cody was going to be making. So you want to secure the bag. In closing, the best example I heard was there was a movie years ago starring Chris Rock. Called CB4. It was like Chris Rock, Charlie Murphy was in it, a bunch of people, like a bunch of stars. But there was a scene in it where they had a video hoe, right? A bunch of video hoes, a bunch of girls women who did dancing for the videos. And they were talking about, oh, my right breast was in this music person's video. Well, you can see my left butt cheek in this other person's video. And they're going to take me out to the this restaurant or that restaurant. And they had this older woman who was there just hipping game to them. And they just didn't pick it up. But I never forgot that. She said, look, instead of you having these rappers pick you up in their car, taking you back to their house, or taking you to a restaurant that they pay for, and they take you back to their house and screwing you that house, what you need to do is get a car in your name, get a house in your name, start getting money, and have those guys put money in your bank account. And you could go out and buy yourself jewelry. You can go out and take yourself to get some food. And at the end of the night, you can jump in your car and drive back to your house. That's how you do it. And I think that's the type of game that Robin's mom hipped her on. And I'm not going to be, I think it's kind of cold and cruel because Robin entered into this relationship so prepared. She entered into this relationship so prepared, and these other women were so ill prepared that it was completely unfair. Like this was pistol whipping a puppy. Like this was insane watching this because it was completely unfair. These women were not ready. They were not ready. And on that note, this is one of the things that I've said. Like I started out saying this, and I'll say this to the day I die. It's on us. Like we know better because many of us have been around on this planet more than 10 times, right? We've flown around the sun more than 15, 20 times at best. Some more significantly more than that in that group, right? It's on us to hip our people, especially people we're responsible for, to this, to what's going on, to that game, to let them know. Like to prepare them so that way, not so they can take advantage of people, just so that they don't get taken advantage of because they see the signs. They know what's out there and they're prepared for it. You know, but yeah, that's my take, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. Before we go, let me give a huge shout out to the folks who called in, left the messages, made all of this possible. Hello. Let me just get by. Oh, wait. I'm about to mess this up, y'all. That quick. Here we go. So give a huge shout out to Megatron, Cat, Anonymous, Charisse, Daisy Reyes coming in hot, and Negla 3 holding down for a player. Shanice, did I say it right? I think I said it right. Okay. Yeah, guys, sorry about that. But yeah, I want to give them a little something for those fantastic questions and phone calls. And of course, I want to thank the Megamind in the house. Brittany Not Brittany holding down for player, as well as got to give a huge shout out and salute the Carmel Cuties, as well as Lizzie B. I think Lizzie B is actually on vacation. Oh, I think I missed a super chat. Hold on 1 second. If I get too far along. Jody Pierce Scholar, $9 super chat, hit me off to no sound. I appreciate that. I actually saw that when you said that. I appreciate that. Want to give you a quick get that acknowledgement. Thank you so much. Because I was in there talking. I was running my mouth, boy. Running my mouth, embarrassing myself. Then we give another shout out to Jody Pierce Scholar for $4.99 super chat. I would like to do a new topic, escaping Amish. Fun to watch them experience the world. Yeah, right. I'm not too far from the Dutch Amish. So yeah, that was crazy. I grew up with, not grew up with them, but like you go down and see them out there clicking and clacking. I tell you what though, I'm gonna have them do me a shed because they will do. They do put structures together. So if you're close to them, they will put a structure together for you. I want them to do me a shed. So yeah, them Amish, buddy. They're some hardworking folks. Just don't go there in the dark because ain't no lights. But yeah, I'll check that out. Thank you so much, Jody. I appreciate you. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Want to give a huge shout out to everybody in the chat, as well as the Mega Mod Brittany Not Brittany. Hold me down. Thank you guys so much. Let me give a little something to the callers as well. Everybody involved, because this is a participation place. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, dealing with me, bearing with me, and riding with me. Appreciate you. Make sure you check out everything that I got coming on for the members only. I did a video, surprise, mother. Little Dex action. But I did a video with my wife. She was a special guest on that special commenter on that last video I posted for the members. So check that out. I had this part of the reason why I'm so frustrated with TLC. I had like a whole plan where I was gonna do like a watch. I wasn't gonna, I wasn't gonna monetize that video at all. And TLC was like, nope. So I don't know how it turned out. So I had YouTube do what they needed to do so that I could put the video out. I have no idea how that thing turned out. I can't even watch it because I'm so disgusted by the whole thing. But that's out there. She might actually appear. I think I'm slowly convincing her to appear on some more stuff. So you guys might see her on some upcoming stuff. Yeah, and Black Swan. I have not heard from IQ. I hope that she's okay. If anybody hears from her, tell her I said hello. Tell her to hit a play up. So I did want to bring her in. Y'all let my wife know, Alexandra. Thank you. she was a little nervous about it. It's like, I don't know how that went. Anybody say nothing? As I'm trying to break out of her shell a little bit. She's a little more reserved than I am. Well, way more reserved than I am, but because I'm like in the on the spectrum of like social dynamics. You know how they say like some people are more afraid of public speaking and death. I love public speaking. I've been public speaking since I was in grade school. So I have no fear of public speaking at all. So, and she is not that person. She is not that person. So she's coming along. Oh yeah, thank you, Black Swan. I'll tell her that you said that too. But yeah, I haven't heard from my IQ, and let her know that I've been thinking about her. Just hoping that she's okay. No creepiness. Just hoping she's okay. Because things like you get used to people online and seeing them regularly, and then all of a sudden you don't see them. you realize that like they have extra stuff going on too. They have outside things happening. So I hope that she's okay. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves. Tip your bartenders on the way out. It's a service charge. And if you if you find yourself at Uno Bravo or Salsa Bravo, make sure you tip the wait staff. Take care of them folks because Cody's probably not doing it. All right, guys, that's my take. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm